Hi, I'm Becca and welcome to my channel. Today I want to show you how to make this beautiful stocking garland which doesn't cost the earth to make. It's just using a few stamps that I've got, but you don't need them to do them. You can do it a different way. And just the little baubles and bells and string I've just got from the pound shop or places like that. So it's not expensive to do and it's really fun. You know, I love all the jingles that it does now when it's on. I can't show you the full length because it won't fit on the camera, but it's going to make a lovely noise once it's hung. So let me show you how to do it. Right, so to make this garland, the first part is we need to make some stockings for the garland. I've chose to do 8. It's totally up to you how many you want to do. I'm just doing 8 because I wanted it to go over a long space. It's going to go on my stairway, so I need it fairly long. The stockings that I'm using, it's from a stamp and die set from Crafter's Companion. It was 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, and there's 2 toppers to the stockings, so I've done 4 of this one and 4 of this one, and then I've just stamped the different images for the top and coloured them in. So I've got all of those done. I've also cut out the stocking to cover the back so that you won't see it, but when you're cutting out, if you've got this one, just make sure that you die cut it from the wrong side of the paper. So when I was cutting these out, I didn't think when I first started doing it, and I put the die on the gold side of the paper, but what I needed to do was flip it over and cut it from that side so that it'll be the opposite to that one. So I've made that error so you don't have to. But if you haven't got these stamps, you could just go on the internet and find some stocking shapes, or draw them freehand if you're good at drawing them. I'm just using these because this is what I've got. So on this one I've got the spiky cuff, and then we've got those, and I've used some glossy accents for the little sweeties that are sticking out of the top. And then I've got a piece of baker's twine which is about 8 inches long. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to stick the baker's twine to the card. So turn over the stamped image if that's the one, if you're using this one, and we want it to come out from, if I'll try and do it whether you're looking at to this corner here, so the side of the heel, and we just want to put our string there. So hopefully my glue gun will be ready. I'm using hot glue because it'll just be quicker. If you've not got a hot glue gun, you can just use tacky glue or something. It'll just take a little bit longer because you'll have to wait for it to dry. Just be careful you don't burn yourself. Again, whoop, and then I've just gone and pulled it off. Silly me. Pull that off. Oop. Not doing well. There we go. It'll be fine. Right, so I've got that on there now. So to cover this back up, we're taking the gold backing, and then we're just going to stick that over there, and you'll not see the string where it's attached. So I'll just find out my tacky glue. When it wants to come out, there we go. And I need to change the pins in my bottles because they put in a bit of rust into the glue. Shouldn't be, but never mind. There we go. Oh, stand up glue. And just make sure that it's over the stocking how it is on the front. Now that's sticking up a little bit more than I'd wanted, but we can remedy that. Just put tiny dot of hot glue there and then pinch it. That'll make sure that it keeps it in place. There we go. Done. So that's our stocking. You've got your string in that corner like you want it. just wait for the glue to keep it on. Now what I've done is I've put a couple of sticky pads on the back, which is going to make it raised up so it gives it a bit more dimension. These are in 2 pieces, but I've cut it the bottom of the image right up to the bottom, because when you use the dies to cut them out, you get like this white border all the way around it. I didn't want that on this piece. I wanted it to look as though it were coming straight out of the top of the stocking. So when I've stuck those together, I've just put a bit of tape over the back just to reinforce them, because they were a bit flimsy with just using it with a bit of glue. So those, take those off, and then try and do that. So you want to line it up with the top of the stocking. So this one, put them a bit too far up. Put them down here. See, that's what I get for putting them on early. Let's try that again. So again. And there's our stocking. So I've made 8 of those, and I've got those already. But next we need to make 9 of the rosettes to do the pattern that I'm wanting to do. Very easy. All you need is some strips of 12 inches long by 1 inch. There can be different sizes, it just depends on what you want your rosette to be. I decided to just use this pattern 12 by 12 paper. It's out of the Crafter's Companion pop-up box paper pad. I think that's the one that it's out of. Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at it at the side of me. So I've just cut out 2 strips of 1 inch, and that's the full 12 inches. And then what I've done is, you can see it very well on there, I've scored at every ½ an inch all the way along, because that's going to be where that we fold. Okay, so once you've done that, and you can stick your 2 strips together. There we go. And just make sure that that's stuck. Right, now what you need to do is we're going to concertina fold this very long strip. So essentially at the minute it's 23 inches, well 23.5 inches, because you've overlapped one. But all we're going to do is each of the score marks, just concertina it backwards and forwards. So you're creating mountain and valley folds. Just take a bit of time to make sure that you get these nice and straight with each other. I'll fast forward through this bit, you don't want to watch this bit in full time. Just remember, take your time and make sure that they're all parallel. Right, so we've got all of our concertina done. What we need to do now is flip it round. We're making a ring. Now, one will be facing up and one will be facing down. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue those together and make them look like that they join together, so that you'll not see the joints, it'll be tucked away on the inside. And then just pop them on top of each other and give them a rub. Make sure you get them as straight as you can. And then, so we've got our circle. Now, some people like to push them all in together like that and then try to push them down so they spread out. Where I've found it easy for me is if we just grab the circle and sort of just try and bend it out like that way, and then push together, and then you can see that's your rosette. Now, to get it to stay in place, again you need your hot glue gun. So just hold it so that there's a little gap in the centre. Just put a blob of glue in there to start with, and then push it together. There we go. Just make sure it's not coming out the other side. I can put a little bit more on top of that now, because you just want to try and get the centre stuck so it stays in position. There we go. And just flip it over and just put a little bit more there. You're not going to see all of where the glue is anyway, because we're going to put the circles in. And then that's your rosette. So next stop is attaching our circles and our baker's twine. So this is another 8-inch piece which I'm just folding over and doing exactly the same as I did with the stocking, but instead of it being to the corner, I'm just popping it straight in the middle here. But on the back, you want your string hanging from the back of the rosette. If you've got double-sided paper, it don't matter which side you pop it on, but I just want it this way around. Now, I've already cut out using a paper punch some gold discs, and I think this is it's a 1-inch circle, 1-inch diameter circle. And all we're going to do is, again, get your hot glue gun, good dollop, and then push that down, and that will cover up where the string joins. Okay, then flip it over, and then exactly the same. And that's it, and then that's your rosette. Yeah, and just be careful not to burn yourself with the glue. It's just a quick and simple rosette. Right, so for the length that I'm doing, just clear the decks here, I've made 9 rosettes and 10 stockings. I've got them laid in the order that I'm wanting to do them in front of me, which is a bit off camera, but what I'm going to do is, because I've not measured out exactly what it's going to be like, I've just got a number in my head. What we're going to do is just make a loop with a baker's twine on the end that's loose. Sorry, losing my words today. If you can see. And then that will make the bait so that I can tie it where I'm wanting to put it. So I'm wanting to put a rosette first. Now in my head I've been thinking I want to do them about 6 inches apart, each of the pieces. You don't have to be precise with it, it's just me, I've been trying to work this out in my head how I'm going to do it. So I want to have one pretty much near where the loop is that we've just tied, so it starts off. Don't want it like bang up to it, but just a little bit off. So if you just thread this through, and then we'll go from there, and then just tie a knot. Try and get that through before that. it's stuck to it. And there we go. So that's the first one. So if we try and work it from here, so each of my squares is big squares is an inch, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm thinking now that might be a bit too wide. But let's try with 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll go with 4 inches instead. So we'll get the stocking that we've made together. Just slip it over the end where the reel of the cotton is. So, and then just try and position it where you want it to. You can even put a marker onto the twine with a pen, if that makes you feel any better. And then, see, this is going to be the awkward bit, but just put the reel or whatever it is that you've got to attach them to. Just pull it through. Right, let's see where we can. Sorry if you can hear my washing machine in the background. Decided to put it on not thinking I'm doing a video. There we go. So that's 4 inch between. If you want to put bells on this, you can do as well. But I might put those on afterwards. But so next one is another rose. And then a little bit of a problem. I didn't realise that the camera stopped recording halfway through me putting the stockings and the rosettes on. So I managed to get it all done, come to edit the video, and it had just cut out, which is a bit infuriating, but I only need one of these, so I just thought I'd show you from this point. So basically now I've just got all of the rosettes and the stockings on. I hung it up when I'm wanting to have it, and the gap in between is just a little bit too empty for my liking. So what I've thought is I'm going to either put some little bells or some baubles that I've got in these, and just attach them in between just to give it a little bit more embellishment, as you'd say. So I'll put a few of these on, show you how to do it, and then I'll go off camera and then I'll come back once it's all finished. So I think if I try and go in between each one with a different thing. See, I've got these really tiny bells, but I think they'd be a bit too small for this, so I think I'm going to have to go for the chunkier ones. So let's see if we can put some glue on. There we go. Let's start with a green one. Now these are just some strings I got from, I think it were a tag set that I got, you know, like write your own labels sort of thing. So I've just threaded it through the little loop on there, which you probably already know how to do this, but I just want to be thorough and show you what to do. So I'm just going to tie a knot around the butcher's twine. Make sure you've got all both of the ends of this, and then we can go and just give it a tug and see if you're happy with the placement on it. I'm quite happy with that. So I'd say that we're about in the middle. So what I might actually do now is, let's see what it looks like with one of the baubles on with it as well. Because with Christmas you can never have too much decoration, in my personal opinion. So let's put it through the strings that are already there, just like we did before. There we go. So now in between we've got a nice little bell and a bauble. So I think then we'll move on to, so we'll go past the stocking and then on in between the stocking and the next rosette. Okay, so show you again. Just get one of your strings and let's go with a red bell this time. Right, so again tie it to around the twine. See, this stuff is very tricky at times. I think it's the naughty elves, they've been coming round and they've been twiddling it all up. There we go. Right, so now we'll have a gold bauble, I think. Have we got a glittery gold bauble? I don't know whether if I have. I'll just have to go with this one. I just like to give a double knot just to make sure that it stays on. I mean, if you've not got the threads that I've got here, you could either just use some embroidery floss or just some regular string, or even some more of the butcher's twine. And then what I'm going to do is not cut it off right down at the bottom of the knot, because then it's got a chance of it coming undone if it gets tugged. So we just leave a little bit on like that. So we're just cutting these off. So like I said, not too close to the knot, because if you do that, like I said, if it gets tugged there's a chance of it coming. You could always use a little spot of hot glue if you just wanted to put it on, just a really tiny amount, or just something just to make sure that the knot doesn't come undone. But because I've double knotted it, I can't see it coming undone, but it's just up to you what you want to do. So I'll do this one. That's it. So I'll go off camera now and I'll do this to the rest of the garland, and I'll see you in a minute. So I've put all my little baubles and bells on, and it makes a lovely noise when you jingle it. This is probably the easiest way that I can actually show you it all in one thing, because it is rather long. I don't know how long it is, so when I've gone off camera I'm going to measure it, and I'll put a note on the screen now as to how long it actually is, if you want to do the same length as mine. But I've really enjoyed doing this one. It is a lengthy project, but it's something that you can bring out year after year, and it doesn't cost the earth to make. The baubles and the bells, I think I got them from the pound shop, and the twine. I think pretty much everything is either from the pound shop or the Range or the Works. Those are the main shops that I go to get, you know, these sort of accent bits to put onto my projects. And the stamps, like I said, you don't have to use these. You can just find a stocking template and do it that way around, so you don't have to do the stamping, so it'll be a bit quicker. I just want to do it because I've got it, and I wanted to make it as colourful as I can, so I can have it out each year and, you know, be pleasing to the eye, as they say. So that's this project done. I hope I've inspired you to have a go at making one yourself, and you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you like it, give it a like please, that would be greatly appreciated, and I'll see you next time. Bye!